Monday night game. Uh, the New York Giants getting another primetime game. 3-4, heading to Pittsburgh, taking on the Steelers at 4-2. Seems like we all questioned Mike Tomlin for no reason.
No reason.
I believe Pittsburgh's favored by 6.5 in this game. New York, obviously, they're not going to be the same without Andrew Thomas going forward. That spells kind of
Disaster.
a miserable season for Daniel Jones. Kayvon Thibodeau expected week 10. I got to shout out Dexter Lawrence, leads the league in sacks now with 10, 29 total pressures. He was phenomenal once again versus Philadelphia. I know Saquon, he got the best of him, but I really like this team's outlook for the next few years, in spite of all the questions surrounding Daniel Jones. I do think it's clear as day that this could be Bill Belichick's landing spot. I want to see him in New York again so bad. And I think he has the opportunity to get the job as dual GM, dual head coach. So I want to get your thoughts on that. But as far as this game, I'm going to take Pittsburgh money line. I'm not going to take those points. I'm going to be interested to see how the offensive line for Pittsburgh plays against this New York defensive line, although they're banged up. I don't know if Brian Burns is going to go this week. Can't trust Russell all that much, but I am going to take the Steelers to win. And then what are your thoughts on Bill Belichick to New York?
Well, Christian, you mentioned the injury to the left tackle. DJ Humphries with Arizona visited with the Giants, so we could see that be a hole that's plugged.
No. I mean, Total, you mentioned it earlier. Like they tried to patch up this O-line. It's just not. It's not there.
I think continuity in an offensive line play, or like your offensive line in the NFL, I think like half the battle is the continuity of the guys back there.
Right.
Which obviously I'd said makes the Texans stuff even more troubling. But from this perspective, it's not really you can't just plug somebody in at left tackle and expect.
At least, you didn't draft Evan Neal. I mean,
yeah, at least that. But I was gonna say, I'll finish your thought, Mike. Sorry.
I was gonna say one thing that I think kind of weighs in the balance here is I feel like. I mean, we've seen Brian Daboll want to rip Daniel Jones's head out, but I think at this point, with all the veterans you have, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and you mentioned, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns. I mean, they're playing their asses off. It's just I feel like it would just be waving the white flag on this kind of season, and then I mean, that's what kind of message does that send to, guys like Darius Slayton, just about the path forward for this kind of team. They're in a very, very tough spot that can only be rectified by Daniel Jones at this point, I think.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to Belichick in New York, from a defense perspective, I would love to see it just because of the horses they have on the defensive line. You mentioned Dexter Lawrence. I think Pittsburgh is starting their fourth string center. It didn't really appear on Sunday night against the Jets. I think Quinnen Williams had a couple of good plays out there, but I think Dexter Lawrence could easily take advantage of that aspect. I thought Russell Wilson played okay against the Jets. Granted, it was super banged up secondary. You would hope a quarterback would take advantage of that. Might be a little bit of a different animal here going against. I think, granted they didn't play well against Philly, but I do like some of the pieces on the Giants defense. Now the real matchup, the Steelers defense against the Giants offense is a clear mismatch. Steelers got Highsmith back. He looked great on Sunday. Obviously you still have Cam Hayward. You've got TJ Watt. That is a absolutely devilish crew going up against this O-line for the Giants. So spread wise, I think it's a lot of points to lay with Pittsburgh. at 6.5. Honestly, I don't love taking the Giants either, just because I don't know if I can trust. I can't trust either. I can't trust either of these teams. I think the Steelers are like kind of a weird. They do what Steelers do every year. They're a weird 5-2. Like
Yeah.
they don't seem as good as their record indicates, yet they in some ways are. The Giants offense, I don't see a lot of avenues to success going against this defensive line. Now I could see the Giants defense maybe a little bit of a respite from the Eagles offense going and playing the Steelers. Um, Russell Wilson, I, that was a fake 35 points in my opinion. They got the ball at
Yeah.
the 1 yard line, an interception.
Yeah.
I don't see that same outcome. And the market seems to agree with me because this total is 36.5, even below the key number of 37. This is anticipated to be a really, really gross Monday night game. Props wise, I might just hammer a bunch of unders. I mean, you might be able to pick them
I
blindly.
like. Yeah.
One-
I like
one-
the
one-
Highsmith sacks.
Highsmith sacks. I like that for sure.
I
think
also
that'll probably
like
be undervalued in the market too.
I like some regression in Najee Harris, who has gone over 100 yards in the past 2 games. I think that'll probably be
Sure.
boosted a little bit more. I think the Giants defense is going to come with a lot more teeth than the Raiders and the Jets defensive lines. That could be one to exploit. I
Yeah,
mean, shout
it's a
out to
great
him. He's
call.
gone over 100 in the past 2 games, but yeah, I would assume the market takes
I
that
agree.
into account.
Yeah. I
Jalen
agree.
Warren being back too and looking healthy. I mean,
Mhm.
we could see a little bit more of a split there, just depending on what
Yeah.
the game plan is. Yeah, I like that. Najee under. Obviously, I don't think they're going to have a number listed right now, but I'm with you, Mike. That's a great find. It'll probably be a little bit more
Yeah.
inflated, especially for a primetime standalone game. You tend to see those props a little bit more inflated than any game that's in the noon slate. And yeah, I like that. I like Najee under. Can I just give maybe the weird stat of the podcast?
Sure.
Wandale Robinson, I believe he's number 1 in targets amongst wide receivers, and he's 44th in catches, which is that's just speaks a lot about the Giants
Might
offense.
be. Yeah. Schematics.
Yeah, that is
Um,
that's crazy to me.
It's bad.
But yeah, Joe Shane job is very, very hot, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And if Joe Shane's hot, that means Dayball is hot as well. So
Mhm.
yeah, to kind of round out your question, Christian, about Bill Belichick, I think if Joe Shane is gone, then his Buffalo buddy in Dayball is probably also gone, and that
Mhm.
will allow the double B Bill Belichick to slide in there.
Yeah.
And draft his own quarterback. And yeah, that would be really intriguing to see
Yeah.
if that possibly happens. But
I do. I like it a lot. And I actually like, honestly, if they went out, maybe just had a regular draft, maybe they got the best tackle available in the draft, gave Daniel
Mhm.
Jones a bridge year or something like that. Figure out, maybe find another skill position, and then build out that defense. Maybe they could be a playoff team. I mean, you never know with the NFC East. It feels like every other
Yeah.
year it's up for grabs. So
there is an out in Daniel Jones' contract after next season.
sure.
I know that I don't know the exact cap number, but it's lower than like the guaranteed money. There's I gotta look at the spot rack again for it, but
Yeah.
the potential out is after next season.
Sure.
So, and honestly, if you look at the numbers, like compared to what some of these other quarterbacks got, I feel like
Yeah.
Daniel Jones, he's not underpaid, obviously, but like
Right.
if
Well,
he plays
the writing may be on the
average
wall
football,
since Dable went ahead and pulled him for Drew Lock last week. So
Well, yeah.
that may have just
That's
been
the
because
only thing.
the game was out of hand,
Yeah.
maybe too. I mean,
He said he's starting today. He might get knocked out of this game, to be honest with you.
yeah, he might. I mean, he's getting thrown to the wolves for
Yeah.
sure. So maybe we'll see Swaggy Drew Lock in there.
Yeah.
He'll put on. We can blast Jeezy the whole time.
Yeah, right.